he's too lazy to take notes.
Yeah.
No, it's just good to review because I think you'll
Yes.
probably be teaching us stuff tonight, Mario.
I got some new stuff. So I actually got way more stuff that's going to be doable in 1 hour. So what I did is I saved a bunch of pictures for the NGC 6888, the Crescent, and I can take you through steps
Good.
of how I got that image. I also can show you how I do the solar work. Can do one, both, or sequentially. What do you guys like?
Let's do the crescent.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me bring this up. Hold on. So I think I got to share the screen before I do that. There we go. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Yes.
Blank.
Okay.
Let me see a screen.
All right. So this is actually was a pretty good night tracking. So it's good data, but I'll stop occasionally and show you what I would have done if there was star elongation or stuff like that. I probably should have picked something that wasn't so great and still came out good by some of the newer tricks. Let me bring this up. So that's the image, the final. And what I like about it is the detail is good. The stars weren't bloated. I'll show you tricks of how I do that now. And I'm able to enhance colors. I never fake colors, but they're enhanced. So it comes out a little stronger and a bit more pleasing. So let me
And this
minimize.
was your 32-inch, Mario?
Yeah, I picked that actually because it just fits in.
Yeah.
And my
yeah.
old image of it was like 10
Nice.
years ago.
This isn't a cropped image.
No,
It's the whole field of view. Good, great.
yeah, it just fit from edge to edge. I have a 16 by 24 arc minute field of view with the 6200 ASI camera.
As somebody said earlier, it looks like a brain, but it looks like something out of a Star Trek show.
What's that?
It looks like something out of a brain in a Star Trek.
Yeah, several people said it looks like the Brain Nebula because of the detail in it. North is in this direction, but if I place the camera normally, then it wouldn't have fit in the field of view. So let me minimize that. Let me show you how it starts. So here's sulfur, oxygen, and you can see that all that's real data over here, in the oxygen in the blue, and hydrogen alpha, and there is no material up here. So it's all real data. It's just the way it's put together is much more interesting. So let me minimize that. And the sulfur kind of just adds some color along the edges over here. There wasn't a lot of sulfur in the crescent. And let me show you the color combined. So this is how I started. I color combined the three, and I just used, in this case, I'm using Sony some of the time now, but I used, come on, show AIP,
Mhm.
okay? And it pops up and it acts, as long as you label them properly. I don't know why the sulfur, as long as you label them properly, they come up in the right spot. One thing I don't like is it always uses the Hubble palette, and I don't like that. I always switch it to hydrogen, sulfur, oxygen.
Yeah.
And the sulfur I usually use about half, otherwise for some reason it comes out too strong. And I add a little bit of O3, and I add a little bit of HA to O3.
Mhm.
Okay, and then O3 I add to the green. So that's usually how I start off.
So Mario, you typically you're putting O3 100%, you said, it shows?
Yeah, for the
Well,
blue.
that's for the blue channel,
Right,
Barry.
right, okay.
Yeah, and about 50% for the green.
Okay.
So I'll do a test image. I click auto F, and then let's click mix, and you get an image to start. All right. So that's generally where you're going to start. Now you see the blue is very faint. It needs to be enhanced. The H alpha is always strong. And the reason why the color is different on the edge is because the sulfur is mixed in with the hydrogen alpha. So that makes sense to you, right?
Mhm.
Let me minimize that one. The other alternative way to do it, and I've done this many a time when I'm having trouble. Oh, I didn't, sorry, I didn't save the mixture.
Mario, I
Yeah.
forgot to ask, with the SHO, what did you have checked off with the SHO? Because I've had some trouble with those.
You want me to bring it back up?
Yeah, could you please?
Yeah, but I'm using Pixel Math a lot more these days because you
Okay.
can fine tune it a bit more.
Mhm.
So, but let me bring that back up if that's what you prefer. Script.
I want to take another look, because I mix with SHO AIP a lot.
Yeah,
I've had
it works when the data is good. It doesn't work very well when one of the colors is very weak.
You just check off the top box. I'm
Hold
having
on,
trouble.
bring it
I'm
up
having
now.
trouble reading this.
Yeah, hold on. I'll spell it out. All right, so sulfur, sulfur, HA is HA and O3 is O3, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I click off auto STF, right? Just so it's stretched and you can see what you're getting. And then over here, mix in Allen luminance
Yeah.
by AIP method. I think that's the only one that's available anyways. And then just click mixing, show, and RVB. That's the standard. But the formula I use is for red, H alpha.
Yeah.
I don't use sulfur there.
Right.
And a little bit of sulfur and oxygen for green. Okay. And a little bit of H alpha because there's H beta that's in the
Right.
blue. And that makes the H beta part.
Okay.
I actually got an H beta filter, but I never use it because it's the same data as H alpha, just minimized.
And
All right. So is that good?
Yeah. No, I was looking at that, the boxes on top.
Can't hear you.
You're not talking to your microphone.
Yeah, what I was looking at also what you were checking off, because I had read up in Warren's book about different ways of using those features. So
Yeah, but
curious.
this works when I'm going to stress it again, and Phil probably knows because he's been using this. When the data is good, you can use this shortcut, and I consider it a shortcut. When the
Yeah.
data is not so good, it's better to go to Pixel Math.
Okay. Yeah, no, I've been using this SHO for a long time also, courtesy of Phil teaching me. And every now and then it just doesn't want to blend. Typically,
Exactly, it doesn't blend right.
don't have
I said
sulfur.
when one of the channels is weak, all you get is a lot of background noise.
Right. And many times I don't have sulfur. So I'm usually
Yeah.
mixing just, and if I do very well, like with the Veil Nebula, I've always done well with that one. So I'm amazed with how much you picked up in the O3 and in the
Yeah, well, I showed you the raw data
right
already.
Yeah.
But Pixel Math, you can adapt. And what you do is you use, instead of a single expression, you unclick that, and then you can do red, green, blue, and you make a formula for each one. So let me show you there. Go to the expression editor. I'll give you just an example. For red, it's almost always, it works for me. And this one, you got to kind of adapt your own camera and telescope system of the colors you get through your system. But I usually use for this 0.8 plus, I'm sorry, not plus, 0.8 times H alpha. and plus usually a tiny bit. Sometimes I use a little sulfur to smooth it out. Sometimes I don't. But you can put a little bit of sulfur on this if you have bad data and you got to straighten it out. Usually you don't have to do that with the H alpha. So you do that. And then with the green, it's 0.5 times 0.3 plus 0.5, let's see, times S2. If it comes out incorrect, unlike the show mixture, this you can adapt. So let's say it comes out not so great. What you can do is cut down the S2 to 0.3 if it's poor data and there's a lot of noise. So that's what makes pixel math expressions better. You can play with it until you get it just right. Whereas the other, you get what you get and you don't have the ability to fix it. I mean, you can move the sliders, but I just find this more intuitive because you're dialing in what you need. And when the S2 data is poor, I just minimize it, but it gives a little bit of S2 color to it. And then for the blue, it's almost always 0.3, usually 100% 0.3, unless the data is poor, then I minimize it and I put a little bit of H alpha, probably 15%. Okay, so good data, use the shortcut. Poor data, go to pixel math. It's it just
What do you use for the blue again?
blue usually 100%, somewhere between 0.8 to 1 times 0.3,
Okay.
and then about 15%, 0.15 times H alpha.
Mhm.
That seems to be a good formula that works for me, and I get good color when I mix it that way.
How much was it, the other one? It's 100% of,
0.3?
yeah,
The blue is usually 100% 0.3
okay.
and 15% H alpha. But again, you have to play with it sometimes. If I'm going to this, it's because the data was poor and I was getting bad results with the automatic one. And you have to play with it. So depending on, let's say it's a nebula that has very poor blue, not much oxygen. I may go down to 0.6 times the O3 and build it up the other way. Okay. So it all depends on what's there, and you got to play with it a little bit, but you get better results if you play with it and minimize the noise that way. So then once, get rid of this. Once you got the picture like that, I like to eliminate, if it needs to be cropped, in this case, I don't see any need to crop, right? It looks pretty good. The data was good this night. So I didn't crop. I do a DBE at this point. All right. And then I don't have to show you that. Everyone's used to doing that. And then I get rid of noise. And I'll tell you, let me bring this over just a bit. I do noise in two stretches. MLT, NR, you see that? Okay, these are the settings. Can you see my settings there? These are the settings I use. I adapted them from, what's his name?
Warren.
Yeah, Warren. Adapted these from him, and these settings, which he had used very well for me. I hardly ever change these, but basically it's these layers. Layer 1 is the fine noise, and then 2 is 2 pixel noise, 3 pixel noise, 4x4 pixel noise, and then the rest of the upper layers. And this works fine. So watch, let me zoom in here. You see, there's some noise there, right? You can see it, a little speckled.
Yep.
Can you see the speckling? And it's gone.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
anyone want me to leave this up so you can copy numbers?
What is this process you got up? I can't read.
Scale linear transform.
Okay, scale and transfer. I couldn't figure that one.
And by the way, see how the stars was slightly elongated? I'll show you how to fix that later. Completely gets rid of it. I mean, the data's good. From a distance, you don't notice it, but blown up, you see that there's a little bit. All right, so that noise is gone. I can close this now.
Yep.
Okay. And then I do noise exterminator. Now, I had gotten something from Russell Croman years ago, and he still honored it for a discount for an update. So I took advantage of it. It's like 60 bucks now, but I got it for half that price. But it's incredible. He uses an artificial intelligence, which he spent a whole year experimenting with it and having machine knowledge put into this, machine learning. And this is AI version number 2. She did an update just recently, which I got, because I got the first one. And it's the best noise program I ever did. Normally at this stage, I would basically do a mask so that I cover up what I don't want to have noised out and ruin the detail. And that way it only takes care of the other stuff. With noise exterminator, I don't have to do any masks. It works fantastic on its own. So let me dial this up. There's still some noise there.
This is a extended
Russell Croman.
Terminator.
Yeah, noise exterminator.
Oh, exterminator. Okay.
Yeah, it's a plugin, which I like. Anyways, no, I'm still not stretched, right? So here I'm going to click linear, and I can actually use this later on as a final pass, and it cleans up any residual noise that's there. So let's click this. It goes fairly quick. I think you'll be impressed at how much the noise is completely suppressed with this program. And that alone has made a huge difference for me in terms of quality of the imaging. Some research, probably things open right now. It's an AI program. There we go. All right, so I don't know if you can tell the difference, but let me go back and forth. Close this. Notice that? Noise is essentially completely gone.
Yeah.
Okay, and I didn't have to mask. I did not have to mask. So I didn't have to use Phil's thing of masking and then fixing it in Photoshop and then coming back in a TIFF program. Don't have to do any of that. The program takes care of it.
Nice.
I've tested this now on a number of different objects, and it just works like a miracle. It does its own internal masking, but it just works very well. All right, so now
So
we're there.
you got this from Roger, and then you installed it into what, the Pix
Yep.
plugin folder?
That's correct.
Okay.
Let me move this thing over. And under resources, let's see, where is it? Manage repositories. Here you'll see noise exterminator. He'll give you an unlock. You can get it for a month for free. And then you can decide if you want to get it or not. I get nothing for advertising this, but I just think it works very well. It's the best noise program I've ever seen.
That's called noise exterminator.
Noise exterminator, Russell Croman.
Exterminator, yeah.
All right. So now we're at this point. Now is the time to basically move it over. Let me see if I save time. I can show stretched. Now, well, let's just go with the other. I'm not sure where I got that. Anyways, so Let me bring that over here. Histogram. And of course, I always do the shortcut of bringing that over. I'm having trouble because the screen here is blocking my, let me put this on the bottom. Gets it out of the way. All right, so do that. Okay, now we have the stretched, right?
Yeah.
Blue is kind of faint. So usually I just touch it up a little bit, as much as I can. It's probably as much as I want to do right there. What I found is it's better to do all the fine tuning in the other programs and just use this for the rough setup. Okay. So now we have that. Let me show you now. Let's see here. Before I do I'm trying to remember my steps. I did write them down. 1 second. So after I'm at the point where I don't follow a script anymore. I kind of just look at it and sort of know what the next step should be. But let me follow what I did so that it doesn't come out different. So I use SNR next if I need it, but there's not excessive green right now. Now I make the masks, okay, because I'm going to need them. But first, I separate the stars. So let me show you what I mean by that. And this is what allows me to fix a lot of stuff and it really enhance the nebulas. So you guys familiar with StarNet 2?
No.
Okay, this you got to get, and it's free. So there's no excuse not to get it. Okay, write this down. It's you have to specially download it, but it comes as a regular process. There's the original StarNet and there's StarNet 2. StarNet 2 is the new super improved version, and watch what it does. So StarNet 2, I'm going to create a star mask, but better than that, watch what happens. I'm going to apply. This is the key to getting possible.
Mary, you're breaking up.
Okay, I may have to. Normally, I don't have so many. Can you hear me?
Now we can.
Let it finish what it's actually did say stuff, so I don't really have on them.
So StarNet 2 is another plugin we find online, just like the noise exterminator.
Okay. Hold on. Our mask clone. Our mask. Oh, there we go. Okay, can you hear me now that it's done?
Yeah.
It's a intensive program. Look what it did.
Mm-hmm.
So now you got stars and you got nebula. So in the past, you try to fix the nebula and destroy the stars because they're blown out. You try to fix the stars, you destroy the nebula. Separate them. Work them individually to their utter perfection, okay? And then work the nebula. Now you don't have to worry about the stars losing their color or being blown out. I'm telling you, this is the key to better pictures right here.
Yeah.
Absolute key. I mean, I already got the stars optimized with the colors, so let me just, and all I did for, let me close this one. All I did for that, because I have to show you the steps, that notice the stars have color. I could never do that before. All I did was go to curves and fix the colors, bring up the colors. So now that the stars are separated, let me bring that up. Go to curves, play with the saturation, okay? And do it in small steps at a time, okay? And now you get the true color of the stars, whereas before I used to settle for white stars because I didn't want to destroy the color in the nebula. I don't have to do that now. Now the stars at this point are optimized. All I did was take what's called a star mass, but it's really the stars separated, and it's all the stars that were there originally, every single one, and enhance the colors until I think you can see that they're pretty. Oh, the other thing I did with this is notice that little thing is gone. I should have said the other one. Let me show you how I got rid of the oblong stars. Now that the stars are separated.
This is not really a mask. You're actually.
No, this is a star mask.
Like a low pass and a high pass filter.
But I'm not using it that way.
Oh.
I'm using it as two completely separated images
Right,
that I
right.
will then combine into the original. But by separating them, you can optimize the stars and you can optimize the original nebula. And I got to tell you, that is the single most important step I'm telling you tonight.
No, I agree. As my signal processing background says, what you do is you're creating like a high pass and a low pass
Yep.
filter, and to separate the two, and then you got to use pixel math to merge them back together.
Yep.
Okay.
And you do that with pixel math at the end. So in order to get rid of the oblong stars, I'm not going to try to bring up let me show you what I did. Just now with the stars separated, go to deconvolution. And notice they were slightly oblong this way. So what you do is go motion blur and you pick the angle. In this case, it was like that, right? The original.
Yep.
And 5 length, if it's way out here, you just got bad data and nothing's going to fix it. But if it's just a minor amount like that, I find somewhere between 5 and 10 is enough. And if you got to go beyond that, it's better to do it in two steps anyways. And I wouldn't go much beyond that. So you fix it like that. And usually 10 iterations is enough. And just click go. These have already been fixed, so I'm not going to bother doing it. But that's all you do. And the beauty of this is it doesn't ruin the original nebula. And the stars are now nice and sharp and pinpoint. Neat trick.
Neat trick.
By separating the stars from the nebula, everything comes out so much easier. Okay, so that's the convolution on the stars, and that's how you bring out the star color with curves once you got the stars separated. Okay, let me minimize that just so I have more space over here. So now let's look at the original nebula. Normally, you play with this and you're ruining the stars, and you have to have some sort of a compromise. Okay, no compromise now. Go for the kill because there's nothing stopping you from fixing the nebula. So here, there are several things that need to be done. One is a blue mask. Okay, you guys familiar with the color mask?
Yep.
Anyone not?
Me.
Okay, so go to script. Script, utilities, color mask.
Okay.
And you can pick whichever color you need, make a mask out of it, and then use that to enhance that one color and mask everything else. Take the inverse of the color. Sometimes I make only one of these masks. Sometimes I use 4 or 5 of them. But it's a good way to isolate the color you need, because curves kind of is difficult when you're dealing with certain colors that are on top of each other. I find this works much better. Okay. And then the second thing is new mask game. Okay. So when I made the original mask for the nebula, it came out like this. Now, here's a problem. There's some blue up here. And it's very faint because I haven't enhanced it yet with the blue mask, right? That's missing over here. So if I use this mask, and everyone knows how to make a mask, right?
Yeah.
With the range?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not going to show you how to make a mask. So the typical range mask, you get this, and you make it blurry and you make it fuzzy. Problem is, sometimes it's not perfect and it's missing pieces because it's too faint for the range mask. Now, Phil used to go to Photoshop and then add white. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, let me show you a shortcut that'll save you all that time. Ever hear a game? This script right here,
I can't see it. What's it say?
GAME, G-A-M-E. I forget what the acronym stands for. And it's also a free download. So except for the Russell Croman noise exterminator, everything here is free. Just download them and use them. So take game, I'm going to click on it, and you get this thing. See that? Now
Mhm.
you can put that wherever you want. You can adjust it any way you want. You can expand it as much as you want. Okay, so I'm going to put it back over here, because this is the area that wasn't being covered properly for the blue. There's blue up here that I don't want to lose. It's just so faint, right? So I'm going to do that. You say add. Oh, I don't want to, let me delete that. I've already got it set up. And basically click OK. And look what you got. You have this mask and this mask. So what do you do with two different masks? You only use one at a time. Go back to Pixel Math. Okay, expression editor. So let me clear that. So what we want is mask.
So Mario, all you're doing here is you're
What?
allowed to make an elliptical pattern or a circular pattern.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. I mean, I start off with the range mask, but if I can't get it properly, and sometimes when you have faint out of stuff, this is how you fix it. So you got mask, which is what I got with the range mask. Now, mask GM, that's just stands for game mask that I just created. So mask GM, put a spacer there, right? So it's mask plus mask GM. So it's this one plus that one. Parse it. And now click OK. And what happened? Oh, I got to click that. Okay. Now, okay, that wasn't set up. I should have made it go up a little bit more, but you get the idea. You
Yep.
can add to the range mask as much as you want. If that's still more stuff you need, make another game mask and keep adding to it. And you don't have to go to Photoshop anymore.
Nice.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Okay, that's my payback for the stuff you taught me.
Thank you.
So then, Mara, this is yet another free download that we have.
Yes, it is. Just Google it, game, and download it and put it in. Okay, so that's free. There's several other free stuff I'll point out later. All right, so that's all with Pixel Math. I'm really starting to like Pixel Math. I used to hate it before. So let me get rid of this one. Okay, so that's how you mask out. Can you see the blue? It's kind of faint, the blue over here.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay, so you can do one or two things. You can go to curves and just deal with the blue. Okay, but I find this other method with the blue mask better. So let me bring that up.
wow.
You're in saturation, that's why.
Yeah, I know. That's not what I want. Blue. Okay, so let's see what that does. Problem with that, you tell me what the problem is. It made everything blue, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Background, the
Yeah.
stuff I want is now saturated, but the main nebula that I don't want overly blue and the background is all blue. You could probably get rid of some of that with the SCNR, but then you lose some of the blue in what you want. So that's why I stopped using curves transforms for that. So let me close that. instead, use a blue mask. And I show you how to do that, right?
Yeah,
Script, utilities. Where is it? Where's my, oh, color mask. Okay,
Yep.
just go to that and just pick blue because that's the one you want to work with. If you need to work with the red separately, pick that. But I already have it made here to save time. It doesn't take too much time, but bring that over, mask it. Minimize this. Okay, so now the blue is masked, but I want the inverse of that.
Mhm.
So invert mask.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, now I'm covering the blue, right?
Yep.
Never mind, I had it set up the right. Okay, invert mask. So I want to show the blue and cover everything else. Now, in order to see what I'm doing, I like to not enable the mask.
Show mask.
Yeah, show mask. Okay, so now when you do curves, watch what happens.
nice.
No background
Yeah,
and just the stuff you want gets enhanced.
very
Now-
nice.
Now that may be a little sharp. Sometimes I can fuzzy it up a bit, but you get the idea. So now pick the color that you want and especially faint outer stuff like this blue here and use a color mask. And again, you don't have to go to Photoshop anymore and just play with it until you get just what you want. You know, usually I just play with these. And what I found is doing it in short bursts, you get better control.
Yep.
Okay, so you get the idea. Play with it until you get what you want. All right. And then what else? At this point, I play with the different colors. Oh, now we got to combine the stars. Let me show you how to do that. So, I frequently at the end, when you do the colors, sometimes you bring in some noise. So at this point, actually, I do the noise exterminator when I combine with the stars, just in case that brought in any noise as well. But I use 2 passes of this. Let me bring that down here. Okay, so yeah, so this is what the original was, but I mean, I played with the colors, got rid of the green and stuff. Actually, it came out better this time than my original. But you play with them until you get the colors just the way you're supposed to. So now, stars, where is it? Where did I have my stars? There they are.
Oh, you do that.
Okay. What's that?
Still keep the mask in there? When you combine?
No, mask has to come off. Got to click that one. Come on. There we go. Good catch. Oh, yeah, you got to remove the mask. Okay, so now we got this. Let's bring the stars over. So pixel math again. So I got to change it. So I got to reset it. Expression editor. What do I have in label? Well, just plain stars. So let me get rid of all of that. Okay, so this is mix AIP plus relabeled it stars, even though it comes up as star mask. Okay, stars. Parse that. Okay, and now watch the magic. Just apply.
Ta-da,
Stars are back.
beautiful.
Mhm.
What's beautiful about it is I was able to optimize the colors in the nebula. I got colors in the stars, got rid of the oblong stars, and by optimizing each separately, I think you get a far, far better result.
Sure you do.
Okay, this is the way to process from now on.
Yeah.
And then at the end, I do a final pass of a noise exterminator. This time, I don't click linear, right, because it's stretched, and just have it pass through. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Can you hear me, or is it utilizing resources?
So magical
Yeah.
one, most important one of these plugins is StarNet too.
Just
Yeah.
wait a moment. This is computer intensive. Okay, I think it's over, correct?
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't have to do too much. Now, if you blow it up, I don't see any noise.
It's clean. Yeah.
Absolutely clean, including the black background. Right? Okay, that's kind of how I do it now. Steps, I do just so for the stacking, I start off with cosmetic correction. If it's color, a one-shot color, I'll do a debayer at that point next. Then I'll do an alignment for each individual color if need be. And then an integration, I'm sorry, alignment for all, and then integration for each individual color. And then I put them together. So just so, but I figure you guys know all that part. So that's nothing new. That's just old. I don't think there's anything else to show on this. Let me show you some examples.
Mario, can I ask you a
Yeah.
question?
Yeah,
Your original image seems, the blue seems to be more intense than it is here. Is this your final image that you showed us?
no, I'll show you my final image.
Oh, okay.
I'm not playing with it to optimize it because I don't want to waste your time.
Okay. Okay. No, I just wondered why. Okay.
Yeah,
I understand.
I'm showing you
Just
how
like-
I do it,
Yep.
and you got to play because each system is going to be different. Each scope is different. Each filter is different.
Sure.
I mean, here's my final right here. Let me bring it up. Okay.
Can't see it.
Can't see it. No.
Oh, did I? Oh, did I? Why can't you see it? Hold on.
Are you sharing the screen or sharing the window?
New share. Let me do this. I should share the screen, right?
Yes. And then you'll be able to move windows around.
Okay, can you see it now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was able to bring up the blue and this incredibly faint stuff that I looked at my old photos. There's no way I got that before, but it's in the data if you really stretch the oxygen. But of course, if you do that, then you got noise all over the place, right? That's not what you want.
Yeah.
There's some stretched red stuff over here. It's all real. It's in the original image. And there's nice details sticking out there. And you can see the jet. Also, there appears to be
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
coming out of that star. Apparently, these are Wolf-Rayet. This is the Wolf-Rayet star that's caused this.
Yeah.
This other one apparently is having jets coming out as well. So I just find it a fascinating object. I think this really enhances it. And you can see the yellow here, and that's from the sulfur. So sulfur, hydrogen, and the oxygen. I think it just, I don't know if I should bring up my old image of it just to show you what a difference. But let me show you the new stuff and I'll show you what an improvement it is.
Yep.
What do I want to do? How come it's not allowing me to go to the, all right, I have to close that. Here's the September object. Are you still seeing my screen? It should be,
Yes.
Coming.
okay. Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay, the September object's really small. I don't know why Roger chose it. It's like only 17 arc seconds. So
Yep.
visually, all you see is this. When I took with the narrowband filters, I saw there's some stuff out there. So I had a devil of a time balancing the center with the outer, but by separating them and enhancing the back and getting rid of the stars, I was able to do it. Old techniques never would have been able to do the whole thing at once. Absolutely no way. So that came incredibly handy. Here's another one I'm really happy about, M82. I think you've seen this guy before. Now this one, I didn't play with the star color because that was before I realized I could do that. So the stars are white. I may go back and redo this. But you see this H alpha stuff coming out?
Mhm.
And I just think that's great. And the only way to do that is by getting rid of the stars and enhancing the red separately and then putting it back together. You've already seen M101 and M51 with that. I just did M17. I just finished processing that over the weekend. I took it last week.
Wow.
So nice detail.
Yeah.
Got the colors optimized, whereas my previous M17 was kind of just a dull gray. But again, these are all real colors. I'm just enhancing them by the color masking technique I showed you. And that eliminates a lot of the background noise that I used to get, which kept you from enhancing the colors. So, there's one other one, actually. That's right, let me show you the sun. You saw this, right?
Yeah, that's nice.
That's
Yeah, we
amazing.
can do this another night since time is getting late, but
This is magnificent.
I just like the techniques I use now. Let me just read them off for you. Again, these are free programs. I acquire, then auto stackered, of course.
Yep.
And then IMPPG, that's a free program. I'll have to
Is
show you
what?
how to use it. It's a little tricky, but it's free.
IMP3.
IMPPG.
Oh,
And then NAIF.
What does that do?
Hmm?
What does the IMPPG do? I've never heard of it.
It brings out all this incredible detail.
Okay, so this is strictly for,
Yeah, we're talking sun specific, Barry.
These programs. are
No, I
strictly
use
for the sun.
auto stack art for all of my solar systems.
No, don't use this on deep sky.
Okay. No,
And
no,
then
I mean
NAIF.
for planetary.
I don't know. I don't think it's made for that, but I'd have to experiment. And then NAIF, NAFE, which was a separate free program that builds on IMPPG that was done by some programmer for NASA, and that they were using, and he decided to give it away free. So I downloaded it, and it gives another boost to the enhancement. And that's how I'm able to get these swirls around the sunspots. Only two tiny ones here. But the detail, I think, in the
That's amazing.
yeah.
and the prominence is amazing to me. You know, you can just zoom in, and it's just an amazing amount of detail. And there was one other one I was going to show you, and that was I redid the Cat's Eye Nebula. Now, this one I did not re-image just now, unlike all those others. I took my old image from 2017 and reprocessed it. Okay, it was my previous was awful. Look at it now.
Yeah.
Again, separate the individual components, deal with them individually, enhance what you need to, put it all back together again. You just get a much better result.
You know, something else that I'm observing tonight, Mario, is that you are now maximizing the light gathering power of your 32-inch, which separates it from smaller scopes. I mean,
Yeah.
you're really getting your bang for the buck now.
Yeah, that came out pretty clear with the 6888 because I saw stuff in there I've never seen in photographs before. Honest to God, I didn't make up anything. I just enhanced what's there.
Mario, do you normally use the narrow bands for most of your images?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, except for galaxies, of course. Can't use narrowband on galaxies.
On your, have you done it just a regular LRGB picture of the crescent?
Yeah, let me show you.
Mario, one quick question. on,
Yeah,
obviously, I am assuming that with your 6888, 6888, that was with your mono camera with the hydrogen alpha S2 and O3.
yeah, that's the mono camera,
Yeah.
the 6200.
How
I'll show you
di-
my
how
old
di-
image.
Yeah. I have to figure out how to, let's say, convert that processing into my one-shot color camera also, my 183.
The only other step would be debayer.
Bear? Okay.
Debayer. You
Yeah,
have to
just-
debayer them. But other than that, the process is pretty much the same. If you want to, the only thing you would have to do with that is separate the colors.
Uh-huh.
All right, you know how to do that, right?
Not yet.
Okay, I'll go back to,
No,
Yeah,
don't worry about it now. Maybe another.
let me show you the old Crescent first, 6888. Just show you what an amazing difference it makes. Where am I? Passed by it somewhere. Six.
Quick question on your cat's eye nebula photo.
This one here.
Yeah, did you use auto stacker or anything like that to capture the core alone on that?
No, I should have done, but I used my old data. If I had to do it again, I'd do some very short exposures for the center and longer exposures for the outer. But when I reprocessed it, it came out okay, so I didn't feel I needed to do that. But let me see, this is the actually the cat's eyes right here. I think what I got now is far better than that.
Oh,
And
yeah,
that was
this-
reprocessed a year
yeah.
ago.
Absolutely.
This has an artificial look to it.
Yeah. Why am I not finding
I
6888?
think it's underneath Phil.
Huh?
I think it's underneath Phil's picture over here on the right. Phil's covering up, your last column of pictures isn't there. I can't see him.
I see an NGC 6888 color.
Oh, they're up here. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
Top
yeah.
row.
Oh, I
third
must
to
have.
left.
Yeah, hold on. Here's the previous. Okay, previously it's the best I could do. I mean, it's okay. I thought it was great.
And that was
It's
with your-
nothing like what I got now.
Is it narrowband though? This is still narrowband.
Yeah, it's still narrowband.
You couldn't bring out, you didn't bring out as much of the blue. I mean.
Yeah, I know. Couldn't get the blue out. That's because if you tried it with the original, if you tried to enhance the blue too much, basically you get nothing but blue. I showed you that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, but by separating the colors, you're able to enhance the faint stuff. I'm sure the blue is there in my I didn't go back to the original. This is from 2013, but by now, by carefully separating the colors and using color mask, you're able to bring out the faint stuff that you normally couldn't see.
Well, Mike, the reason I asked was that if you did just an RGB image, LRGB image, that's what I was asking. If you had an
Oh,
LRGB,
you wouldn't see. You'll get some blue, but it won't be as dramatic as
will you
what's
still
here.
get some of the nice detail?
Not as good.
Yeah.
The
okay.
the narrowband filters really gives you
Top it
sharp,
out,
crisp imaging.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just haven't gotten into it.
Yeah, there was something else I was going to show you. Oh yeah, I redid 5128. Let me show you that. Even though it's posted without this, but by separating the colors, I'm able to bring out the color in the central band. And that's real color. I've looked at some professional images. I should fix the stars on that too, though. But anyways, I'm just giving you an example of what you can do if you pay careful attention to what's there. So what was I going to show you, Barry? If I forget.
Oh,
now.
well, I'd asked an earlier question about when I do my one-shot color process as compared to your mono.
Yeah, but there was some I was going to show. Oh, how to separate them. Right.
Okay.
So right here, split RGB channels.
Okay,
Just click on that. So assume this original
yeah,
was a one-shot color.
yeah,
Okay, just click on that, and now you got you got blue, green, and red.
Okay. It'll just,
And now you can do all the processing that I just did with from the one-shot color. Processing will be exactly the same. But you got to separate them so you can enhance the blue.
right. Okay,
So here's the blue. And again, you can see all this stuff. It's still there. It's not visible in a normal red, green, blue image.
and
Real
then
data.
you use, then you would use, go back to Pixel Math to add them back together.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Now play around with that, because like one of the nebulas that will be fun to see how I can experiment with would probably be, what's it, M20 Trifid, because that's got, and I don't even have any narrowband in that. That was strictly just my one shot.
Yeah, I agree. I really, unfortunately, now that I've finally learned how to process to a much better degree, I got to re-image the entire sky.
Or reprocess old data.
Yeah, except the old data is not as good as
Okay.
what I get these days. So some of them I can,
Yeah.
like the cat's eye, that I thought that data was good enough.
Right.
But
Yeah.
some of it's not. Like
Oh,
the
yeah, it depends
6888,
on-
I went back and looked at it. I didn't like that. I didn't have enough of probably because the sulfur was so weak, I didn't bother getting a lot of sulfur. So
Yeah.
now I know I can enhance them. So I did all three 1 hour each.
Right. How much of these techniques helps out when you, because I know you love galaxies. Do you get to apply many of these techniques for galaxies?
Well, I
also?
showed you M82.
Right. Mhm. Okay.
Yep. And
And,
did I
would
show
this
you
work with,
M51?
how would this work with M31?
Well, I haven't done M31 recently. It's not
Yeah.
the fall yet, but here is
Okay. Yeah, that M51.
M51.
Yep.
And this was red, green, blue, and hydrogen alpha.
Okay.
All right, so this is 4 filters. Actually, it's Loom, red, green, blue, and hydrogen alpha.
Mario, question: do you process the stars that are over the diffuse galaxy? Do you
Yeah,
process
it separates them completely. On this one here, actually, I didn't separate the stars. I've learned that immediately after I processed this one. I should go back and do it. But the stars were fine on this one, so it really didn't need to have much done to it. But the point is, from now on, this is how I'm processing. I've had an eye-opening of the power of pixel math and all these other color mask techniques. And I don't have to bother using Phil's shortcut of going to Photoshop anymore. So I build up the mask the way I need them. I use the color masks. I separate the stars. If you do that, man, the world is open to getting much better pictures.
Yeah. No, and the reason I had asked about reprocessing, because with my with the wide field, and you'll get appreciation with your C8 and the Hyperstar, is that when you start getting to 100 and 150 subs, and you then you're going to stack them, boy, is that noise reduction significant.
Yeah.
Get to that level. So I don't do as much noise reduction processing.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't need it, you don't need it. But
I'd be curious to try things like the StarNet 2 and a couple of these other techniques you were talking about, a different way to blend and see how I can improve what I already have.
yeah,
So,
I like the Russell Croman noise exterminator, but you can use that other one that's already in. Let me bring it up again. Oops, where is it?
yeah, I've been using TGB denoise per Phil's tutorial.
Yeah, this multi-scale linear transform. I mean, that works very, very well.
Uh-huh.
But I found that if I run a I'm not even sure I need to use this as much, but I like using both because I don't like noise in my pictures. So I
Yep.
use that, and then I use the Russell Croman, and then at the end I use the Russell Croman one final time for any noise that might have been introduced with the processing, and the pictures come out very clean.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's it, except for questions.
Thank you
Maybe we
very
can do
much.
the sun
Mario.
another
Very
time.
enlightening.
Mario, enjoying your retirement, looks like.
I finally have time to learn these techniques.
I can understand. I'm actually working on a new startup company that's out of Minnesota. I'm working in neuromodulation for gastroparesis. So
Okay. I don't touch anything below the diaphragm.
okay,
Hey, I have a couple images of objects that I think you guys should go after at some point. Is it okay if I share my screen for a moment?
Sure.
All right.
I got to stop share, right? Hold on.
All right. We're going to try it now. Share screen. Oh, it says host disabled participant screen sharing.
If I get some paper so I can write down. Actually, I can write it down this. Okay, go ahead.
Looks like Michael is not allowing me to screen share. It says host disabled participant screen sharing.
Yeah, hang on a minute. That's
Yep.
not me. That's Zoom. I've got to set you up manually, Frank. Hang on.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so I want to see you guys use all these techniques and come up with better pictures.
so I think what I'll do, Mario, is I'll take one of my pictures, try out a couple of the techniques individually, and
Yeah,
before and after.
it is a learning curve. It is a
Yeah.
learning curve.
Mhm.
But what I found is, I think I found what really works for me. Oh my God, you got that?
Well,
That's a Hubble
okay.
picture.
It's a Hubble photo, yes. And I took one of this. I attempted to resolve one of those lensed galaxies. And I actually meant to show my image of it. But this is the Hubble image, obviously, and I'll bring up my image
Yeah.
right now. This is my image of it, one edit. And I'll zoom in. And I'm not sure if I see lensing. If I zoom out to about here, it seems like this region, something is being lensed. And
Wow. But what scope are you using?
this is a 10-inch Meade SCT.
Well, I should be able to get that with a 32.
Absolutely. I mean, these,
Able 2218.
yeah, it's 2 billion.
Able 2218.
Yep.
What constellation is that in?
Oh, where is it? I'm actually not sure.
Object, spring object, fall object,
It's an early summer object.
early
Right.
summer. Okay. So I may not be able to get it till next year.
Yeah, well, you could get it now. It's at the meridian.
Yeah.
You can start imaging around 10:30. It's about at the meridian, so it's already descending.
What's
Okay.
its number? What's its number, Frank?
It's a Bell 2218.
Too late for me. I get the glow of Boston.
But there's a spiral over here, I think. Let's see. I think there's
Yeah.
all sorts of galaxies over here that resemble more popular galaxies, but they're much farther away. It's
Yeah.
interesting. Those
That Able is in Draco, by the way.
Draco.
Right.
All right.
Oh, well, that's up high.
Yep.
Yeah, so that should still be doable.
Circumpolar.
Yes. Oh, wow. And it's a good object.
Oh,
It's in the sky for a long time, and you can really sync the data into it, and it goes near the zenith.
yeah, I might be able to get it still.
And
By
if
by
someone
how-
could capture the lensing, the bigger scope, it'd be really neat. Maybe I'll throw in some luminance next year. I just got a new camera. I got the I got the IMX 571 sensor. I bought a camera off from China directly for $1,000 less than the ZWO and QHY versions.
Wow.
So far, it's working out fine. The only problem was I ended up having fogging or dew issues when I cooled it down to -15 on 70-degree night. And I'm not having the issue anymore now that I'm cooling it to 0
Now with
Celsius.
the ZWO, every time I bring them down, I mean, it has an anti-dew heater. I don't know if that's in yours or not,
It-
the
it-
IMAX.
It
But I
is.
bring it down and it always starts off with some funny stuff. And so what I do is I bring it down to -10. Then I let it heat up again to +10 for a little while, and then bring in that whatever it was now comes off because it's got the anti-dew heater, and then bring it back down to -10, and then it's perfectly clean.
I'll try
So
that.
you might want to consider something like that, but I found that little trick keeps me from getting any
Interesting.
evidence of dew.
What I
Okay,
noticed
so-
was that it was the subs at the end of the night, early in the morning, began form to have dew on them. That's when the dew formed. It was like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
to 4 a.m. The dew would get worse. For the first half of the night, it wasn't so bad.
Are there any
So-
settings for anti-dew heating?
Yeah,
On
there's
the
a
camera?
heater. There's a heater setting, and it was on full blast.
Really?
So-
Okay,
I'm keeping it at 0, and I'll slowly move down to -5, -10, and maybe I'll do what you tried and go up again and go back down. Because I like to cool as much as I can. I mean, the cooler was only working at about 50% when it was doing
Yeah.
up like.
well, if it's a CMOS, you don't really have to cool it beyond that.
No, not for RGB, too much. And this was taken at 0.
Yeah, it's not
so-
like CCD cameras, if you look at their cooling specs, you don't gain much more once you get below -10.
No.
Unlike the CCDs where you keep halving the noise, because
Yeah,
the
it's
noise level is now so low, it's not worth going lower.
No, well, it does matter when you do a narrow band from a dark sky where you know you can't
Okay,
get above the read noise. It
yeah,
matters.
I mean, it doesn't hurt you to go lower. I'm just
No.
saying, if you're getting dew, I wouldn't sweat it that much.
Yeah, right.
This is nice. You got a
uh,
lot of the galactic nebulae, our galactic nebulae around it.
That's something that with the ASI 1600 I could never really capture, and now this is the first light with the IMX 571 mono, and it's amazing. I mean, this would take
What
20
chip does it use?
the Sony
Oh, the
IMX.
same one as the ZWO, okay.
and
What
this-
is this, M83?
No, this is NGC 6951. It's in a really good spot right now. You could sink an entire night into it right now, from sunset to sunrise. You can image the sun.
6951?
Yeah, this is like right now you could get 4 to 5 hours per night on this object. So it's
Have that or not?
a good one to image right now.
Is it high in the sky?
Yeah, it's in Cepheus. So it's sort of coming up in the east, hits the zenith around 1 a.m., something like that, maybe 2 a.m. So it's got some more time left in it. It's got a couple months left in it for imaging. And it's got all this dark, I think it's dark nebula. I don't think that's the IFN. I believe that's just dark nebulae in the Milky Way. But some of these galaxies, you'll see the nebula, the IFN nebula, like an M81, M82 photos. You'll see that. But this is the cool one that you guys could go after with maybe your bigger scopes and get.
Yeah, that's a nice looking galaxy. I'm looking to see if
Yes.
I've gotten it before in my file here.
And-
6951.
And I'm curious, are any of these stars I'm thinking this star right here, is that in that galaxy, or is that
Behind?
probably a faint star in our own galaxy, right?
Okay, I have not gotten that galaxy.
You haven't gotten it yet, yeah.
No, I'll have to get it.
Yeah.
It's not far from the Iris Nebula.
Ah,
Correct. That's
also
correct.
not low.
Yeah, that's all I have to show you guys.
Thanks,
They're all-
Frank.
Thank you, Frank.
No
Nice
problem.
work.
Let's see, could unshare my screen somehow. Stop share. There we go.
Okay, I have a quick note about the GAAC meeting on Friday. Our speaker, our scheduled speaker on the local supercluster and all that stuff is in a hospital in Biddeford, Maine with COVID on a respirator. So he probably won't make it,
No.
So we booked him for September instead. And Jim Nordhausen is coming back. He did last month. He's got another part to the Antarctica presentation on balloon launches and searching for meteorites in the snow, which I thought sounded fairly entertaining. So that's what's going to be happening on Friday.
That's too bad.
Yep.
Yeah, you wonder, I mean, he can't have been vaccinated to be that sick.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, a lot of people aren't.
This day and age, I mean, God's sakes, the death rate for COVID people in red states is 3 times what it is in blue states. I don't know what it takes to get through. I truly don't understand.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, this isn't just science, and
Common sense.
negative science. This is just outright idiocy.
Yeah, it is.
Well, Mary, but I think people are getting tired because my sister, who's very much in a blue state, and she went on a business trip 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago to California, came back. I said, "You're wearing a mask?" She said, "No, nobody's wearing a mask on the plane. I wasn't, I'm tired of it." Okay. She's no youngster either. And lo and behold, 5 days later, she has COVID, and she did get significant symptoms to where they had to give her not the
Paxlovid.
not Paxlovid, but something else. So anyway, because she had fair amount, her husband, he didn't get it from her. Nobody else in the family got it from her, but
Yeah.
she had it, and she had to, deal with
Yeah, well,
it.
the BA.5 is reinfecting people who've even had it before, but they're not dying, and
Right,
it's about 60% effective against BA.5.
right.
So, but just the tip, end of September, early October, there'll be a BA.4/5
Mhm.
specific vaccine. That's my next booster, and that's what everyone should get.
That's what I'll be doing. Yeah, I had my booster in April, and I was at Home Depot a little while ago, and I was wearing my N95 mask.
I wear my mask everywhere I go because my wife, she's really bad shape, and
Mhm.
she's, she'll be 82. I'm 81. We can't afford to get sick. We're not going to make it if we get sick.
Mhm.
Mario, you're gonna love this. My ex-wife, Ann, Pastor Ann, was doing a retreat, and she didn't get the last booster she was eligible for because her doctor told her about this new one they were going to have in the fall. So you don't need to bother with that. But she came down with COVID.
Serious or just a
Yeah, unfortunately, what's happened is BA.5 has taken off. It's about 80% of the tests are showing BA.5, and that one, you're going to get sick and you're going to get it, even if you've gotten previous boosters. The good news is you're not going to die,
Right.
and you're probably not going to be in the hospital unless you got comorbidities,
Yeah.
but you are going to get
She's
sick.
got
for a
she's
few
got
days.
asthma, so she couldn't get
Yeah.
the medication because it conflicted with some of her asthma meds.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
So that
people who
was
end up in
touchy.
the hospital, people who didn't bother with vaccines at all.
Yeah, they're crazy. They're just stupid. Michael,
Yes.
I had to rejoin twice here. My computer just freezes up on me. The audio, my picture freezes, the audio starts getting garbled, but the
Yeah.
screen works fine and everything else works. I just have to come back in. I don't know what it says. It says low resources or something on my computer. God, I've got nothing.
You've got a memory leak somewhere, some other program you're running probably.
Yeah, that's what's going on.
I got nothing else running.
You've always got other stuff running.
Well,
trust me.
that's true. They're on the computer, but geez, they're not running. I turned off my my other browser.
Well, it's most likely not Zoom. It's most likely something going on your machine.
Yeah, but it didn't start happening until at the last meeting we had. It happened to me, and I got in and out a couple of times. But it happened twice tonight, and it's fine. I did.
know. I had to let you back in. I know when
I
it happened.
did shut down my the browser I normally use. I turned it off. Maybe that's what's helped now. Yeah, maybe I'll just have to do that the next time and see if it helps.
How old is your laptop?
Oh, this is an old one. Well, it's
Might be
probably.
loaded down with cookies. I mean, there's a whole.
Oh, I clean it up. I clean them up pretty carefully. I get rid of.
Okay,
It's just it's an old Dell 17-inch laptop.
Was it made in the last 5 years?
Oh, no, no,
No.
no.
Well, there's your problem, John.
Well, I'm stuck with it because I'm not gonna buy another computer. I've got another laptop around to use, but, well, this was a 7. They gave me an upgrade to 10 when I bought it.
Yeah.
I liked it because of the large screen.
All right, well, hopefully this will be useful to you guys when you're processing. I know it's completely changed how I think about processing.
Oh,
Now-
it's completely changed how your images look, Mario.
Thank you.
Michael,
What I
you
do
got
now
this,
is I
recorded,
I
right?
look at the raw data and I
Yeah.
make it, instead of following a script like I used to a few years ago. In fact, Phil, you gave me scripts. Instead of, I don't do that anymore. I follow a logical progression. I see what I want to get out of the picture, like
Mhm.
faint blue, and I go after that. And I
Yeah.
I isolate things and enhance what needs to be enhanced. And I
Yeah,
just
I do-
find that the
I-
image is coming out much better.
I've taken the same approach too. It's nice to start with a sequence and to get comfortable with all the different processes. But after you become much more eye sensitive, you know what needs work, like
Yeah.
you discovered. Yeah.
Yeah, like on that one, the blue is too faint. If you enhance it, you're gonna create noise or you're gonna ruin the picture. So go after the blue, isolate that, get it up there, then
Yeah.
combine them, and it just works better.
Yeah, sure does.
All right, folks, I will circulate a link to the video for this session.
Thank you.
To our attendees here, rather than the whole photo list.
Yeah.
Okay, sure, thank you.
Thanks, Mario.
Mario,
Okay.
thanks.
Thanks,
Hope that
Frank.
helps.
Thank you, Mario.
Take care. See you Friday night.